Okay, for the record, this meeting would be recorded as for basically backtracking and confirming that whatever we're saying turned out to back off. And we can compare notes and everything. So this would be our first patchwork meeting between ship moderators and patch coordinators in this whole entire project. And today's purpose would be basically confirming everything that currently we have listed out is based on balanced and fair, and we will be testing that out within 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, confirmed. So, Smell starting off.
Alright, so I had talked to this guy earlier today. US Eastern Time, I want to say, started at 11:55, ended at 12:30. But we talked about rebalancing some of the ships, mainly cruiser, destroyer, actually just all of the classes, just reworking just the way it's worded.
Yeah.
Rebalancing IMP weapons, shields for what is, I guess, general use. There's some things that need to be redone, like just cruiser rules on core, skeleton, heavy armor usage, all that I think would be great to integrate.
Yeah, that way it's a bit more balanced and everything. I do agree.
Currently, what I was thinking was to set up basically a unified system where everyone has to do something based on the criteria that we set up. But one thing that we should know is that NPC had actually better firepower and accuracy compared to IMP, where the weapons are usually having a higher rate of missing. It's causing kind of like a thing where it's not precisely balanced in combat. Because maybe when making this mod, he kind of used SPY as like the reference of how balanced and good things were, but considered as a show, the heroines are going to get fucking shot by some nobody. So, you know, accuracy became a fucking joke. What I did consider is to give kind of like a balance or like, you know, unique speciality, which this concept was actually at first thought of but never implemented when I started off this whole entire thing, which is to have either better shoes or better thrust justifications for IMP, and in short, the weapons for UPC will cost a little bit more, which will make them use less weapons, but in short, they still have the amount of firepower and accuracy to do their job.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, currently this is reflected on the weapon sheet where UPC have actually higher amounts of weapons point per turret, while the IMP, at the very least, basing it on the SPY weapons, will have lower amounts so that they can use the amount of turrets to cover the inaccuracy to create more damage at the very least. But we were also thinking that besides this might not be enough. So currently what we are actually thinking is to see how the shield generators as such can use them balanced perfectly. But this would cause a little bit of a ruckus because it's easy for shield moderators who doesn't understand the regulations and will cause a fuckery with it. So that's we're trying to eliminate that while finding a kind of middle ground balance. Yeah.
I would say that it's more so making the rules easier to read, so there are fewer illegal things, as well as also adding a few more extra, I guess what you could say are just some extra permissions. I had brought up the idea of, first of all, because of how the bridges need to be, they need to be role playable. So they're really impractical for combat. There was talk about moving to a CIC in combat. So
yeah, I saw that.
there's that. There's giving cruisers partial usage of heavy armor with their CIC is made fully of heavy armor. no blocks inside or outside of it can be heavy armor, except for what could be a skeleton of the ship, just the framework of it, like you would see when you place down a block in survival. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking of for a heavy armor framework for cruisers.
So one thing I did think of about the bridge and CIC thing is to, since we need role playing for a bridge, we will be allowing CIC as the main combat bridge when combat gets started, but you guys have to run to it, get to it, all the other stuff, do your own thing, basically kind of thing. It's to basically to like make the explore bridge idea kind of like a thing. Plus, it also fits into the IRL stuff where CIC is mostly the main combat station where uh, naval battle can take place, while the bridge will be basically like a spawning post at best. As to light and heavy armor, what I was thinking was actually from around heavy cruiser or higher, you would have access to heavy armor and use the titanium. So light cruisers to destroyers can reduce heavy armor too.
Destroyers cannot use heavy armor, they are entirely light armor. This is what I was thinking. Destroyers are entirely light armor. Light cruisers get only a heavy armor CIC. Heavy cruisers get the heavy armor CIC and heavy armor framework. Battle cruisers get same thing as CH.
Yeah, that kind of works, but then it's also making the margin a little bit too low.
But then battleships get full heavy armor. Everything above battleship can have full heavy armor.
Yeah, I mean, you can also consider battle cruisers really, but if you really need
Battle
to,
cruiser,
sorry,
battle cruiser, from what I see, they're 6,500 to around 8,000 blocks. Just give it the 8,000. From that, it should be. Let's see here. They can get half their blocks can be heavy armor. Half their blocks at max can be heavy armor. They can be the heavy armor can be has to be some of it has to be around their CIC. Anywhere else doesn't really matter. It's just half the ship can be heavy armor.
About that, there's one consideration with heavy and titanium, because a lot of people tested out titanium. It's a lot stronger against beam weapons. So I was going to say that since titanium is kind of like a very OP thing, we could allow battleships or higher to use titanium armor fully.
I think what we do, if it's really that imbalanced, we just because that's all MP uses is the laser weaponry, which we talked about redoing. We just remove titanium almost entirely outside of the glowing ones, if you still want to keep that.
That's
The
the
glowing blocks are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like the issue because the first-time mod doesn't have a separate mod for glowing blocks, because if they do, I would have switched that out instead of using contract mod on its own, considering there's the issue with their weapons, their tech, their everything almost in short, it's too OP. Meanwhile, I would say if we really need to, we could find a replacement of using something like what I would say is like the white candle thing. But that would create a very shit effect and would cost a lot more spacing. So this the concept for that currently is also split, since there is no other available replacements for the separate mode. Sadly, I also tried to look for mods and moderators, like mod makers, to make something similar to this. However, from what I know, I was given no reply to any of these kind of situations. So, in short, we will have to stick to the current circumstances to our own best. as to titanium, I do think it's a good idea to basically ban everything besides glowing, but depending on how things go, maybe down the line we will have that. So this is a topic for discussion on the later note.
Yeah, so like we could say that it's in research for the titanium.
Yeah.
Instead of us having like instant access to it, even for the glow, like we'll have some glowing blocks, but not all of them, because we'll say that the quote unquote in research and development phases
Yeah.
until like season 2 or like season 1,
Yeah.
and that's when they could be introduced.
Officially, we could have to use for titanium on season 2 because by the end of season 1, I was thinking of releasing the wave motion and discretion and limits to basically everyone, right? So basically, UPC would have the wave motion gun, which is pretty OP, and then IMP would have discretion. But at the same time, the beam energy-based weapons and all the other stuff, which titanium had a better kind of hit ratio with. As to glowing blocks, it's basically only using it as a decoration, meaning like, ship intakes, private intakes, something like that. So it's not precisely using it as a fucking big-ass protecting layer.
Defensive measure.
Unless people who are using that as an excuse for trying to use output fucking impact everywhere, then we will have a problem.
I think titanium, topic of titanium is for the next meeting, which would be after the test.
Yeah.
I think so. Aragon, I think today's goal is just to rewrite the rules so it's easier to understand. We get a clear basis of what the ships are. We were mainly focusing on destroyers, and then we're gonna do we're just gonna stick with the current weapon point system for now. Same shield stuff. The only thing that's gonna change is just how it's written.
Yeah.
How it's presented, and then from there we're gonna do a
The
test.
test.
2 weeks. There's gonna be the day before, or a few days before, any ships designed need to pass by an IMP ship mod, a UPC ship mod, and if Sky wants to, he can. It's up to Sky.
I'll be there to basically to see everything so that we make sure each side confirms and acknowledge that all submissions were passed. And if it isn't, then it wouldn't be counted as physical first duty. Currently, I do agree on a lot of things that we need to rework, but then at the same time, the best thing that we actually need to do is after the test, we'll know what we need balancing, what is too OP, what is not too OP. So that's going to be different.
I think for now, the goal. What is the test is going to be? I asked for 4 destroyers. Every single destroyer in it's the every single destroyer. We talked about this earlier as well. Every single ship has to have some AI blocks, which Sky's going to go over. Has to have AI blocks to help fly in case there's no pilot. They have to have some. What are some other things as well?
So beside of the DR, which is going to be on board anyways, I'm going to require a script to be put in to the ship where they will follow the flagship in the formation, and you guys can change formations whenever you want. And everything will just automatically, the intelligence will do their own thing. You can actually send out activity signals to for things to work out if need be, which can save you a script or two, which that already is a thing. And then yeah, that's basically it. We also might want to also test out a twin AI script system where there's 2 flagships where they can control a formation, but what happens is if one dies but the other ship follow it as a thing to see if there's a probability where suddenly that became a thing. Because if I recall correctly, whoever has a leader script running, they could accidentally control almost everything at once. So we need to see if we can troubleshoot that to make fighters do their own formation or should do their own formation. So then it doesn't look like a suspicious show when it's in cinematic. Beside of that, people can also use the normal AI blocks. However, those AI vanilla stuff is, as I would say, shittier than a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They aren't that good, but they're an option that we do have. There are also action relays as well that can also work. Something else we should discuss is the process of approving or denying a ship, what makes it legal, what doesn't. Generally, there's a check for anything. There are allowed some internal thrusters, but most of them should be on the outside. Sorry, my cat's going nuts.
1 second.
But
Let's take a 15-minute break. I'm gonna go to the washroom.
I got Phil on Saturdays, so that worked for me. I need gas to go home.
Let's take a 15-minute break, and then we'll come back to this.
I'll keep working on the summary, I guess. For now.
Just speak it out loud. I'll keep it recorded.
I will speak it out loud. I'm writing it. I'm literally typing it.
Okay. Frank starts.
All you and start for now.
Yeah, I just did BTS on.
But yeah, for the record, something that you guys might want to know, as a matter of fact, I feel pretty happy about members of this project actually starting to do things on their own, which if it wasn't for you two, I would be working a lot on my own. So yeah. Personal note, thank you for that. Hopefully you guys hear this. Welcome back.
I'm not going to join up the curve.
Yeah, welcome back. I just returned. So,
That's a good time.
yeah.
You got my cat on my shoulder.
That's okay. So, one thing I do want to say before we restart everything is a matter of fact, just like I said before, I feel pretty happy the matter of fact that two of you are actually working on this beside of just me. Wow, this whole entire thing has been a little bit of a dream project slash burden on me every time. So on a personal note, I thank you for all your hard work and dedication.
I think we should go over right. Well, first we should define the rules of the ships, what they're supposed to be. I think we focus on destroyer.
We'll start off on the tour, and then as we get closer, we'll start doing each one individually with tests and everything.
Yeah, we can actually should start with Corvette then because
I think destroyer, because that's what the test is on. I think destroyer's good. It's a solid spot to work with, and then we can attack everything else from there.
Exactly.
We can do that too. Personal note, I think destroyers should have been kind of like at the very least in the position of the fleet would have been used for anti-air and launching torpedoes at best. So something like, you're launching fucking torpedoes against the enemy, disrupt them from their positions, trying to disrupt them, and do hit and run.
I'm not going to say anything on that.
How come?
Because I choose not to.
Oh, fair.
Because I know no one would say shit in this. You watch. He can technically go into his faction on this shit.
Well, I mean, if we use Outlands as a kind of like a thing to justify, basically destroyers could have been the main fucking backbone of an entire fleet while they're doing fucking spin to win. But since that we're doing old school naval combat style, at the very least, that's what my thought was. Destroyers would have been actually having a more significant role as a fleet defender in its own.
Yeah, we did testing last night in Vix's private world. We found out what torpedoes are good. Torpedoes / missiles are good for certain things.
Feel free to use them in the test if you can.
Oh, we're going to be.
Yeah, I'll be doing a little bit more experimenting. That's just me because I'm the only one that's actually building shit right now. You're going to be going against probably one copy of my design, 4 copies of one design that I make.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've been making ships so long that I'm kind of dying down on building stuff because every time I make them, people are just saying, "Hey, that's not my style." So, yeah, I'm just
So that's why I put out that question in the UPC's general chat. They're like, okay, who all here is a builder? So that way we can all get together and go over a build style. That way, no one person could say, "Hey, that's not my build style."
Yeah, that's kind of also like my idea of how things were supposed to be. Like everyone who's building form up together and do this, but as you can see, a lot of people are just saying that, "Oh, I'm too busy IRL. I'm too busy doing this and doing that," and they just never really get to fucking do it. So
I'm busy during the week with work, yet I still get on.
I know. This is also the exact reason why I'm like, dude, I'm kind of tired of it. But if things goes on where the members were quote unquote always bitching about they don't have time, we could just force a design on them or a design style on them and then call it a day. Or those who are active and willing to participate in this godforsake project, they get to say so, they get the ranks, they get to do everything while they get to run around and be, while the others who's not participating get to run around and follow orders. That's how things are going to be.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the actual discussion topic, which is what the fuck is a destroyer? So at first you
Launching destroyers, yes.
Yeah, so on based
and also after that approving destroyers.
Yeah, so
approving.
sorry. So, based on your information from yesterday's test, missiles and torpedoes from player made were pretty effective. That is also not counting.
No, not player made.
Not
Pretty
player
sure.
made.
These were all layer mix.
They're all
They're all player made.
Yeah, okay.
The one who tests were all AI.
Can you repeat that? You're a little bit laggy on that one.
So yeah, just on my way home.
All good.
The ones we tested were the modern weapon systems that you actually had to put the ammo into.
Okay, so it's a modded weapon, but in short, it's
Yeah.
still pretty effective. Consider there's the weapon core mod where they can just spam the finisher. Yeah, because we're
Yeah.
using weapon core, and there's the guidance systems and all the other stuff to that. So torpedoes, at the very least, in the long run, is a very deadly weapon where roles for destroyers will really come in to play to defend the fleet from anti-air to anti-sub combat.
But then here comes my next question. What about the ones that we put let's say we put blueprints in for man-made missiles, unguided missiles. Like, as in the hull, where it actually has to be fabricated and then sent out.
So, if you're asking about the missiles and torpedoes that's made by players, I came up with a rule when I started this whole entire thing, saying that on each battle, players have their loaded amount on the boat. They can use them, but here's the thing.
They can't make more.
Yeah, they can reload them in short. So they became limited by the amount of shit that they have, and they can just say, "Oh, let me just build it in battle," so that they can just spam fucking nuclear missiles everywhere. So that then became a thing. Accuracy.
But I'm just thinking here. If we had like a cluster munitions that we could use for missiles, that could be like the only way that you could do that kind of thing. Instead of, like, if you want to have a bentable man-made one on a destroyer, for example, you could do it with a cluster munition, not with a nuclear munition.
About cluster munitions, I was thinking of limiting them to only using non-nuclear warheads, or the normal warheads, which would make things better because they actually had a better chance of causing some damage. While the nuclear has to be close, set off by a sensor, and if they're close enough not to get intercepted, they would do damage instead of just putting up a fucking light show. So that's also one of the concerns.
Yeah, but see, that's when someone could do that kind of thing with just the regular warheads.
Yeah.
Make that into a cluster munition missile instead of a single nuclear missile.
Yeah, that actually sounds good.
Because if you're gonna do a singular nuclear missile, then yes, for what you're saying would make sense.
Here's my thinking real quick. I think all player-made missiles and stuff for the first few tests should be banned until ships are balanced. Then after they're balanced, enough for us to be satisfied with them being balanced anyway, we then go and test player-made weapons on the balanced ships, because the tests now are what weapons work now might not work when they're actually balanced.
True.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
There's also a concern where people are saying about cluster nuclear stuff. So here's the thing: if they're making a missile, which is basically it auto tracks, auto destroys, all the other stuff, no nuclear. So if it's a bomb, when it's flying to a general direction, it has an AI block in it that it guides to a general direction. It can't have nuclear blocks in it. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that cluster munition would come in.
Yeah. And
the head points would make sense for the nuclear ones.
Yeah.
But after all, you wouldn't be able to produce those without the correct materials, and you would have to be at your base to do that, or something along those lines.
Pretty much, that's kind of like the idea that the first we actually did, which is to set up. You can only reload things on the base after the battle's over. You can't do that during the battle, kind of stuff. So, in short, let's go through some of the points of what we were thinking about destroyers. One,
So I already, Sky, I know you remember the Destroyer and the Restitution that I worked with you. I will be streaming that because it's currently illegal. I'm just gonna remake a Destroyer from scratch. So I'll be using this one as an example. It's mostly legal in several ways. The only thing that is really changed is just a bunch of the rules around like what can be done and what can't be done. And I'll just remake it.
Do you mind
But
streaming it?
I'll stream it in a bit. I want to go over what makes like how we check for leading. I want to do that first.
Yeah,
Like, actually, you know what? It'll just be a checklist that I'll post into the
yeah.
that people have to go for. I'll stream it and I'll write it down as I go.
Okay.
Give me 1 second so I can. You know what? I actually don't fucking get rid of that anyway.
As a matter of fact, I was going to say the checklist we can do is a lot more simpler than we would require consider. We just need to check the amount of blocks that's on that, and then we can go in there and check how many shields they have, what type of weapons they have, which isn't much, just to the point system, the amount of clusters they have, how many is out there by going through the hut, like so on hut. And then it's,
and what they are.
Yeah, what
I have. So these, right? These two are completely, they're legal because there can be some interior thrusters. This one's technically interior because of the beam block. There are only 4 interior thrusters on this ship. Everything else is exterior.
Yeah.
Aragon. Oh wait, Aragon can't watch.
I'm
So.
driving.
How long until you're home, Aragon? I know.
Not,
Well, you can.
Well,
It wouldn't be smart.
5
5 minutes?
7 minutes.
I'm currently
Like 5:15 right now down the highway.
Yeah, I'm currently putting a recording on this at this time. I'm recording the screen, so don't worry about this. If you need to, I'll show you the video on a later note.
It's going to be posted. Replay is posted anyway in the shipmod server.
Yeah. I need to update this to fucking YouTube in order for that to be posted because I don't have Nitro. So.
You put it as unlisted.
Pretty much. Whoever has the link can work on it. But yeah, it's one thing that.
So,
Sorry.
all exterior thrusters need to be exposed in some way. They can have some shrouding up to, I'll just go with the Outlands for now, 5 blocks. So you can, in theory, right here, you can only go is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. That's how far thruster shrouding can go. After that, it has to be exposed in what is a 5 by 5 by, like, so something like this. Like, that's what has to be open to space.
So basically,
for large hackers.
Yeah. So basically, at the very least, they need to have some kind of way of spacing to pick that up if it needs to.
Yeah.
Yes. They have to be able to make damage on the exterior.
Okay.
They also make the exterior look nice. Of small thruster.
I was going to put a limit. Where block thrusters, where you can see through the thrusters that there's a block in front of it. Count as an interior thruster because as much as
you can shoot through these.
Yeah, true. I know, but then as much as yeah. But, in short, this is So just FYI or thought in mind that since SSA don't
So
have to
we
replace
remove.
it, it's not counted as interior.
You can choose,
Yeah, no.
but if with thinking, I remove
You're cutting out.
these become
You're cutting
exterior
out.
thrusters. Sorry. These they become exterior thrusters. They're technically interior.
You're still cutting out, but I'm going to find the information for you. So what you're trying to
Cut.
say is,
I'm cutting out.
yeah, so what you're trying to say is, those blocks, beside of adding it there, can still take damage if they were shot through the fucking gap. And, you know, so that's why it should be counted as exterior. Is that what you're trying to say?
They should. Yes.
Okay. Personally, I've got no, I wouldn't say that's not exterior,
Yes.
but, yeah, that's okay.
Feel like it works. This right here. This I'll show Aragon when he gets home. This
This
is
should
an interior thruster.
yeah, this should really count as interior because there's still, like,
This
even if there's a way to do it, there's not a way.
there is a way. This is definitely interior. There's
Yeah. So that's fair.
our exterior.
Yeah, these
They have passage.
Yeah.
For the majority of thrusters, 70 to 75% of the thrusters ship exterior.
I say, yeah, I say 75%. That's a very
3/4 of the ship has to be exterior thrusters.
Thruster, yes. No. 3/4 of the ship does not have to be exterior. 3/4 of the thrusters on the ship,
The thrusters on the
yeah,
ship.
3/4
That's what I mean.
yes, have to be exterior.
The 3/4 of the ship.
Yeah. It has to be quote unquote exposed enough to take damage.
Ooh, this is actually just barely.
Yeah, you're on a tight space.
For that worked. It worked.
Yeah. But
Iron
Worked
Nation just
beautifully.
sounds like gentlemen.
Didn't catch.
If you laugh,
AC 120 coming in.
oh,
Alright. All of these.
I'm breaking right now.
Alright. All of these thrusters over here are legal.
Yeah. So.
These thrusters down here are as well. All of these are.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised.
See here. So see. So I'm running through this. So it's checking interior thruster. Then from there it's checking weapon. When I made this ship was kind of illegal with the weapon, but I can always PDC. I'm gonna be removing some, but a lot of. I'm retiring this.
Yeah, you can remix values or like just make a better design out of it.
So this is illegal. Exactly. This is a legal thruster.
Yeah, where you can still see the entire thing, pretty much.
About so what you say what should be about 2 blocks basically be a half, 1/2, so that makes 2. On all sides have to be visible. On just up and down. Right here, legal on all ends. Right there. It's legal because it's top down, and then side it's half.
Yeah.
Well, two.
It's like shit hop on bed for reality reasons. You have to see the thruster and the plane going off, which would not if it blocks the frame, then it counts as an interior thruster. How about that?
That works.
Yeah, so
I think that works pretty well.
That's going to be a simplified system of exactly what this is. So that can count as an exterior thruster.
Sorry, so Sky, real quick, just for Aragon's reference, these are considered interior or exterior?
No, so I'd say exterior still.
You can
Is that
shoot
right?
through the beam block. And that
Exactly.
was my thinking. Sky, there is another one that's kind of like that. It's just instead of being like that, it has this instead. This is interior.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, that one's more interior than anything.
Yeah. That's
Just look at how deep it is in the ship.
Yeah.
this is interior as well. So
Oh
no,
yeah,
this
that's
one's
true, that's
exterior.
interior.
Yeah, this is exterior because you can still
It's
see the
exterior.
flames. And for
You
the
can still see the flame.
Sure.
yeah, for the one beside it, you can see something that's blocking the flame, so you can argue that it's an interior structure.
That is interior.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
argue date. That's where we.
Yeah.
This
if
is
anything's
exterior.
blocking the thruster, it counts as interior.
Yeah.
If you're unsure,
nothing's
you can
blocking
always.
it, it's exterior.
If you're unsure, you can always go and take a time. There, so there's that. These, I think it does show the flame. I'm not too. Double check that. Majority of my thrusters are on the exterior. This side is the same as,
Yeah.
but this is where it runs. Atlantean transporters. That's what these are. They are teleporters. They move
Oh, I know. I've used them.
Yeah. Oh,
They are amazing. I love them.
by the way, I do have a question. Actually, I have kind of like a thing that I do want to ask. So pretty much if if you're not, if you don't know this, specifically, SBY had a type of structure called graphic keys and generators, which is basically kind of like a block for interior structures, but they're pretty weak. And those were capable, for me at least, I set up the setting where they're capable of tuning the adjustments to times 11, if you can look them up. So should those be counted interior thrusters, or if, like, do you guys want that as
Interior.
yeah, that should be interior.
I say interior.
That's interior.
Yeah, so,
This is interior. Yes.
yeah, but here's the thing, do you guys want to count those as interior thrusters, or should interior thrusters be flames only, where, if there's flame to it, then it counts as interior? Because this
Those are interior.
yeah.
Anything that moves
I'd
your
say
ship,
that's
that can
straight
move
up
your ship.
interior.
Yeah, anything that can move your ship from inside of it, they don't inside the ship, is an interior thruster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll go in real quick start. I'll just say the outside needs to be checked for any exterior thrusters. You just Control C it to check block count. Cool.
Pretty much.
This is legal
Yeah.
block count. It's actually, even if I had kept my old version guide, so
Yeah.
so you run through that. You forget hard point right now, so you just keep in mind how interior thrusters there are, because I've mirrored, exactly mirrored. Currently there is 2 right there.
Okay.
2 that we have is not interior. That's not interior.
Yeah.
So I go through here. These are interior. So we have 4 interior thrusters compared to the.
Yeah. There's no argument.
That's obvious right there.
So it doesn't really matter if I kept if I use the gravity drives or the hydrogen thruster. If they're inside, they are, and they can move the ship. They are interior thruster.
Okay,
Yep.
So after checking exterior thrusters, making sure that most of them are on the 70 over at least 75% is on the outside.
Yeah.
Go inside. You go for a quick tour of the ship to check for interior. Interior is a must on all ship.
We can go with a lower.
Agreed.
We can go for a lower amount on a later note if designs, if they're using the gravity thing a lot more often, then we can lower the amount because it helps keeping things on count. But
Yeah, we would also want to limit how many of what size.
Yeah.
If they're going to do the gravity drives.
So
for the interiors. Because think about the size of the interiors and the gravity drives.
Yeah. So from what I know, the Type 1 gravity drives are usually the weakest, and it only takes one block. Type 2 and 3 is usually so fucking big no one would actually use them unless you're creating a very big ship. So, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
And,
but still.
yeah.
So, I would say, so after we go through the thrusters, counting thrusters, we then go for what is an interior tour of the ship to check for interior. It is part of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And welcome, Wolf. This is just eating. This is kind of important.
Yeah.
For,
Goddamn
we
time,
have,
Wolf.
Yeah, you're kind of late.
Sorry,
have-
I've been barking on some other things.
Yep. So we now have established that I only have 4 interior thrusters on here. I know that is a fact. I built this boat entirely myself.
Yeah,
So this is the start of the interior. Yes, I do the hydrogen tank there. It's okay to have some. This is the designated reactor system
the DR system, event controller, which controls the...
right here. Yep.
Thermonuclear.
Timer block. Yep. Not thermonuclear. 2 nuclear weapons. I have them on each.
So,
A little bit of comedy.
So,
But-
one thing I do want to say about the destination reactor system is the matter of fact that there's going to be one nuclear warhead, and the rest could be used as a normal warhead, where they turn off the shield to split in half and create a very fun looking effect. And then the last thing would be the nuclear warhead exploding, which creates a big boom effect. So that's basically kind of like the idea of how that's going to work. There's also going to be 2 systems on board or more to make sure that everything works well. So if the main system is down, there's also going to be a backup system where the distillation reactor and the warhead would activate when the DR dies. And then there's also 2 other systems that make sure that if the main one dies, the backup turns on. That's kind of like the deal. But one more thing I also want to say about the GI is a matter of fact, they would be excluded from the total block count. But
Agreed.
but the players must
Yeah.
tell us that when they were
The-
finishing the design that they already
The
had
DR block count.
Yeah.
Or what they can do as well when they include a design submission, what it is. So I have it right here. I have a designated reactor. I have it right here. I have regular. I actually have this. This is the improvement that I made. This right here. That's all it is. 4 blocks.
Mike is dying more than my family.
Yeah, he's been doing that constantly.
So
Yes, because I'm streaming. Probably. That's my guess.
I have an issue with that.
It's all connected. I know. This is just a guide.
I know.
What it is.
I know. But there's several ways that we'll be doing that. I made a system where everything can just be copy and paste. It's on my workshop. Where
This is also on my shop.
Yeah, so it's basically made in a kind of like a way where you can just copy and paste that, and then it has a specific talent, it has a specific layout and everything, and no one can talk shit about it. So if they were using those designs that I've made, they had to say that, hey, as you use your definition reactor, those blocks should be excluded, then we will remove the amount of blocks from the DR, from their belt, and then we would say, okay, it's to see if it fits or not. If it's still over, then we'll have to make them do some changes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
from what I recall, my DR system is only about 300 blocks, but they
Only 300 when you do it in 4.
Yes, because here's the thing. All of them were covered in armor. All of them had a major and backup system. And they also had a reactors and all the other fucking warheads on it. The other thing that they would actually need is to apply normal warheads around this ship.
Believe that it's fine. I think that we don't need 300. We don't need all. We just need skeleton. Sorry, why does it keep cutting me off? What?
What the actual fuck? It keeps cutting me out for no reason. Alright, so what's gonna happen, just, you don't need many blocks, you just don't need the armor, just give the skeleton of it. All armor added around it is what counts.
Yeah.
So
No,
check, part of the check, the final part of the check is checking the designated reactor system, because that's the fun part. But that's gonna be, so we have, do you check interior?
Actually, one more thing we need to check. It was, I think, a place for the script to run. So, supposedly, you would have kind of like what I would say like a programming room or a room where you can run the formation script. That on an AI chip must be on board. And for all flagships, they must have the formation leader script on board running so that they can actually send out the signals to say, hey, get into this formation or hey, get into that formation.
Guy, one thing I'm gonna quickly put forward is, well, currently I will count the amount of people that are active in the Empire, but I believe that we have enough if everybody comes on to actually have a full fight with no need for AI currently.
I understand.
It's just right now we're trying to add AI as a backup, because that's not always gonna happen.
Yes.
Saw UPC before more people joined, it was a fucking ghost town. What we
Well,
need,
just like him.
well, it was, yeah, and then I started being a bitch to everybody. So the thing, here's my summary real quick. Can I deliver?
Yes.
So going through the basics here. Exterior thrusters and interior thrusters check. 75%. So at least what is greater, so it's going to be greater than or equal to 75% of thrusters have to be on the outside. That's clearly checked. From there, we go to interior. We get a tour through the interior, which I'm finishing right now-ish. What it is go here. This is, I already went through my interior. The only thing that's left is the bridge, which this is the bridge. Congratulations, I have an interior. Now,
yes,
here,
you in fact do.
and the destroyer doesn't need to be that furnished. The thing that needs to be extremely furnished is, like, well, not extremely furnished, but furnished decently, is cruiser and up.
I would say that the 3-block series system should always be the same.
Also,
in almost every ship, I would agree with that. Though I would say in, say, submarine and frigates, we could allow for a one-block seating arrangement, well, a one-window block seating arrangement.
Actually,
in the front and sides.
Actually, here's the thing. The charter submarines, all ships must have the 3-block system. 3-block series system. Because submarines don't have glasses in their fucking
so,
yeah,
submarines are just glorified stealth corvettes.
Submarines technically aren't ships. They like.
So I was thinking about getting rid of submarine on a later note, but that's not a point.
We can talk about submarine.
So after later.
Yeah.
So after the interior, it is you check that the DR system is present.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. I'm writing notes. Then you check the AI system. This ship does not have the AI system.
Yeah.
Well, we just got that stuff today-ish, so this ship is technically.
Yeah, that's.
But here, from there, let me keep running through my checklist. Just say yes, no for now. I'll ask for comments after. After that, we check. Go ahead. We're just gonna double check just flight thing. So I need to check the reverse thrust on this. You can see one of them. You can't see all of them. That is something that I will to.
wouldn't be required to see all of them, but then it's a fairly, something like that. Actually, I'm more worried, I'm more concerned about the thruster adjustments than if they actually had the thrusters for going forward or backwards.
From what I
May
know,
I,
of,
s- may I
real quick.
suggest one thing? Somewhat similar to Outlands, every thruster has to have about half of the block visible from straightforward, sideways, bottom, or top.
Outlet
Depends.
for large
Depending on.
thrusters. We already talked about it.
Yeah, we already talked
All
about it.
right. I guess I was not here for that one.
You were not.
Yeah.
We already talked about it. You missed half the meeting. So you know. So hydrogen engines,
I am quite sorry for that. I had been quite busy.
Outland engines are given a 5 times multiplier. Remember us talking about.
Actually, I was going to say it's going to be different.
Sky.
Hello?
Because currently, with only. Did your headphones do something?
Hello?
We can hear you,
Here?
yes.
Okay, so what I was going to say is depending on what class of ships they're making, they will have thrusters adjustments different because I don't want someone using a tier 1 outline thrusters that have like a high amount, like 5 times adjustment for a dreadnought, but then they move like a fucking they move like a fucking destroyer. What happens is, I was going to say, for the thrusters adjustments, it's going to be based on class, and for specific thrusters, such as the gravity thrusters from RTS,
11 times.
yeah, they're all going to be maxed out. So basically, almost every SCY armor thrusters, gravity thrusters, they're going to be maxed out.
Gravity thrusters, Outland engines will be scaled accordingly. That's going to be for a later note. For now, we need to, not right now, we're going to talk destroyers.
Yep.
So we need to just check real quick designated reactor system.
Yep.
We'll just make a copy of the ship, paste it, and basically tear it apart. Or let the creator of it, you're going to run through the creator or the FL, whoever wants it approved. You'll run through it with them, tearing it apart until you find it. That's basically how that's going to. Then you'll just get rid of the copy you made. And then also after that, you check the AI system. You just go here, okay. Here, let me just finish the checklist real quick. It won't be long. All weapons are checked through the K menu. This ship has too many right now, so it's be technically legal. All AA main turrets, right? So all that is just there. And then you have shields. You check shields by going to shields. If there's not a shield group, you find to make one. Let's see here. It should be right here. This has 2 large shield generators, which is legal, at least was legal, and has 2 small shields as well.
I'm gonna quickly send in the officer living room the document of weapons that I currently have doing.
And then so after shields get checked, weapons get checked. Not just yet. And also Sky. You can grind the DR down in order to make it explode.
Yeah, I went to.
It goes off of integrity.
Yeah.
So after all of that is said and done, you got to make sure that the antenna is set to the correct distance, which that hasn't really been determined just yet.
Depending on class.
I just have a 20K right now.
Yeah.
So there's everything. The ship has gravity, oxygen, CIC. This bridge doesn't have oxygen yet because I'm stupid. But everything else in the ship should. Yes, it does. Great.
So,
and then I don't know if the crew quarters do.
So one
crew quarters do not. Skill issue.
So one thing I will have to add or the new update, especially release after getting testing. It's a matter of fact that if you see on your right hand corner, right upper corner, there's a mini map, right?
That's range. You adjust it in.
Yeah. It's going to you're going to have to load in the script when you're in CIC or your bridge, where you would have the script to run the mini map on a console. And you need to have a map system set into that where it would display the distance for everything. So in short, what that means is every script would have a different what we would call as a radar range, where they can see further away from what they actually could instead of using the antenna. This could create a little bit of a better effect because antenna in short is kind of like a communication thing, which I would also say is possible. Ships should also have something like an antenna and then kind of like a communication thing as a detail on board. But that's a story for a later note if people were capable of doing that.
I think so. So the process of approving a ship is so far. Let me know if I'm missing anything. Just after I'm done yapping here. Exterior thrusters and interior thrusters check. 70 greater than 75%. We already know that. In interior, you get you have to make it as an interior. You have to check that the DR system is present. You check the AI system. You check both those through the K menu. Weapon check. You check through the K menu. You run through weapon points. Maybe even design a script. Shields are fine. Just check where we're gonna make that so it's not shield points and shield generators. And then there, I believe that's everything we need to go over. Just there's some things. Keep it brief. So bluff it. Bottom line up front.
Yeah. Okay. So most of the stuff that we need to check is there, but I'm going to say something about the DR and how to check that, and the benefit of that is everyone who has a shield has to group it together, hide it, and also the weapons and everything. And also for detonator reactor warhead, they also have to group that together and then hide it. Because here's the thing, the detonator reactor can only would work on a group system and we can check it easily. So as long as they name it as a group, we know what the hell's going on.
Oh, let me actually check my shields. I should have an absolute fuck ton. Let's see here. I have.
Those are the capacity.
Oh yeah. I have what is basically. Let's see here. I have 132.4 mega whatever is PT. I have absolutely insane shields right now. What I changed.
Yeah.
But here's what the ship. So after that we have we already know how to check the DR system. I need to run through that again.
Yeah.
So we have everything up until shields checked. Shields checked are part of the DR system.
Yeah.
Everything else, right? RP based that comes secondary. Right, RP stuff, if we're going to use it for RP, we'll prep it, and for that, for the test flight, that's not really important. Just need DR system, we need weapons, shields, interior, yeah, still, and the
exterior.
That's all we really
need.
That's all we need.
We also will need to check if the DR system works well, so we will need to talk and face the ship to see if it works. So
oh no, and once that's the final thing. There's a thing. So I'm literally just gonna jump away real quick. I have admin in this world, obviously fine. But what's happening here is we go ahead, go out. Depends on where it is. So I'm going to go ahead, do a favor. I'm just boom, 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 like that. That's where I keep my DR. I'm decommissioning this ship. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna grind this. The timers are set to 1 second because we haven't adjusted them from when Sky did something. Sky was messing with it. This is actually where the DR system actually took hold, because this is the first ship that actually used it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
This is a relic of a fallen age. So I'm gonna grind it.
I'm pretty sure the Eisenstein is more of a relic, but
So, when
Oh wait, I have damage off.
when a reactor is lower than 15%, the DR system activates, which counts as like the ship blowing up.
I would suggest you repair it again and then damage it.
Oh no, that won't work, because it already triggered the event controllers, but it didn't actually run. So, what's gonna happen here is go ahead and put in the restitution. Again, here, we're gonna go ba 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 ba, just like that. I'm gonna go right here, because that's where I put it. Right here, damage and shooting is on. I'm just gonna grind it.
Oh, and kaboom.
That's pretty much the solve after that. For bigger ships, my requirement is one nuclear warhead. You don't need to use thermonuclear unless you want to pull your whole entire ship into fucking nuclear explosion.
Well, that's what Imp is looking for.
Don't. You will lose every battle. So that's the idea.
We're just gonna get so close to the enemy that that when we activate our own warheads, they'll die with us.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't say that's not allowed.
There's nothing left.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's not allowed. That's actually pretty much allowed. But for a system where if you don't want that to be a thing, what you're going to do is for bigger ships, you're going to use one nuclear warhead, which is placed in the center or kind of like the most important spot of the ship. And then you can use normal warheads around the ship and cut some smaller explosions to create a better cinematic effect. Then the big one goes boom, everything goes to dust. That was supposed to be the idea. If scuttling and or sinking is a thing. So you
Yeah.
gotta think about that.
My only current question is, if damage was to come to the warheads, would
They will
would
be
be
the same
set
as
off
and
by?
no, because they aren't armed until after. And also,
That was my only current concern.
Yeah, because
Wolf, this is what I have for General Fleet for IMP as well.
That is interesting.
Has white, red, gray, detailing, and then I'm gonna tone down the wood a bit, but everything else is.
gentlemen, let's get back to another on the topic. So
Yeah.
Destroyers. So now it's just balancing destroyers, I feel like, because real quick, I'm gonna fill Wolf.
Currently, I'm gonna quickly have a look at the destroyer class. So
Give me
destroyers,
one
they
moment.
yes.
We're refitting. We're redoing the destroyer class right now. This is what we're gonna be testing in 2 weeks. We're gonna be making destroyers, both UPC and IMP. We're gonna be testing them in a fight, series of fights. Next, what is 2 weeks from now on November? What is November 30th? There's an event that I created in the server that you can just there.
I'm most likely going to.
I need to fix.
I'm most likely going to do that and put on a recording to see the results. Then we can talk about it when we have another meeting on ship mods. And if we say that something is challenging, then we can use some references.
Yeah.
As of right now, we're just doing some testing. I want to make sure we have a baseline to go off of. At the current moment, weapon points should be fine. Block count is fine. Max blocks should be decreased to 4,500 instead of 4,250.
Okay, I can change that now.
Has anything been changed to the weapon points?
Negative. Currently, it's just 60-40.
Okay.
Weapon points are fine. Turret points are so turret
Sky,
slots
by the
are
way,
fine.
I would like you to have a look over on the possible weapon dock that I sent in the officer living quarters. Most, no, almost all of them, except the our AR YX weapons, have been well, kind of balanced.
Yeah, Alex weapons wise, we're going to have a lot more missile based stuff as deterrent.
Yes.
As deterrent, such as guns and all the other stuff. It would not be preferred because the actual selling point for Alex is actually more or less their missiles. And as the guns we have downers and everything, which I know a lot of people want to be a big fan of. But we also have assault weapons stack, which is a little bit more balanced. And they're not as OP as fucking what Alex can toss into the fucking mix.
Yes.
Let's see.
One of the main things I was looking for when I had been creating the when I had been looking over this was to making the different weapons available for different ships, considering many of the many of the current heavy weapons cannot be used on destroyers. Even most of them. Though one thing to mention of if you just double the points of them, then let me quickly double check my notes. Considering they do the same damage of as the lower barreled versions of them, except for the fact that they shoot more projectiles, which I would with my experience in Outlands, they do the exact same as the lighter versions of them, but they are currently categorized as heavy weapons.
Interesting. 1 second. So I was going to say it's just Star Blazer, which is because that's kind of like the basic bread and butter for me.
Yeah.
One thing that we need to fix is that UNCS turrets were a little bit too cheap, where people can spam.
I do agree.
Yeah, and people can spam those kind of shit. And here's the thing, shock cannons, even on light turrets, can be very bad. And since Stammer's weapons are very inaccurate, it has to be flipped over where almost everything else from the Galactic side would be a lot cheaper to fight off the heavy and super heavy weapons. So, like, fucking UNCF would have, like, close to 3 to 5 points on light weapons on a major note. And then when it's like heavy weapons to very heavy weapons, then it would be like half a fucking fortune. But by those points, usually they'll be mounting it on a bigger ship or a very big ship, so it's not too much of an issue. As for you guys, because the weapons are pretty shit, if I would say, because again, Libya makes this, he based it on the show, and the show is pro UNCS, so no one's causing any fucking damage whatsoever. The accuracy is so shit that most of the time, 9 out of 10 shots would miss. Right? When I talked about this to Libya, and he said he's just doing that because of the show, which I understand, but at the same time, it's kind of like adding the high calculation into the mod. It's pretty useless. So, in short, we will be adjusting the downward weapons to a little bit of a lower point where you can, what I would say, spam those weapons to create a better 45.
I will say one thing of possibly imp ships might use some more AWP weapons than say
No, they're all physical at the moment. We are not using any AWP weapons. Sorry to say. I did talk to Sky though about changing, adding a new mod pack that adds Star Wars weapons into it, which can have different lasers, which are blue, green, and red. We will use red, obviously, if we do get it, and then from there, so let me just stop stream. So it actually works. So
I'm
Actually,
sorry, who said that my favorite weapons are not being used currently?
Um, so what's going to happen is we're going to be using laser weapons for now. There's going to be a Star Wars weapon pack.
It would make a lot more sense for physical weapons to appear first, considering they're the lower tech versions, and both sides
That's
would
what
have
will be
plenty
appearing
of them.
first. Yes, I'm talking on the standard ship. Let's not argue about this now. Let's talk more later.
Good
We're
point.
trying to. So
I'll not continue with on that point, but yes, I do agree of the rebalancing for the turrets of the UNCF. I mainly was following how the other spot, the other document had them.
Oh, shit, I just realized I didn't start my screen on recording, but I record most of the voice.
that's fine. It doesn't matter about the screen recording. That does not matter at all.
Sky, by the way, I believe you may have editing privileges now.
I need to check. I'll check on that later.
I typed in destroyer. I typed in the destroyers thing just to say for the event, please stick with no titanium blocks whatsoever. I will be deleting that after the event.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna change these very quick.
So let's see here. I think how many small shield generators equal one large?
In the chart, it says a large field generator would be 10 blocks, and a small one, sorry, a large field generator is a 10 block, 10 points, and small field blocks are basically
I
1
don't need a
point.
small grid, I need large grid.
No, they're all large grids, but then it's like a small generator and a big generator, right? So the small one is about 1 point, large one are about 10 points.
1 point for small, what the hell? But we're changing, I want to change that system to not points, to the amount of shield generators you can use.
If we do that,
It'd be one or the other. That's what I'm working with right now for this test, just to make things a little easier. Because it's 2 weeks is a very short time to make a ship from scratch and functional, fully functional for a test. It's a very short amount of time. And it has to be fully rules legal. So, I guess for now I'll just put 16 small shield generators.
yeah.
Or two large, because that each small shield generator is gonna be, so 8 small shield generators take up the same amount of space as 1 large. That's probably not as, it's not balanced that way, but that's something that we'll start with for now. We'll do more balancing later. We're gonna do mixed shield designs on that. It's in testing. We'll see how it goes. We'll do some more testing. We'll do some testing. I want to say, so tomorrow is building. We'll do shields not tomorrow. We'll do shields Thursday. Shield testing Thursday.
All right.
Let me check that. So right now for destroyer, I'm gonna run this through with you guys.
Sure.
All right, armor is light. We aren't doing titanium at the moment. This is just for the event right now. Thrusters are tiers 0 through 4 Outland, Vanilla, and SBY.
Mm-hmm.
Weapons are light and medium.
Alright.
30 weapon points.
Mm-hmm.
18 turret spots. 5 fixed. The minimum blocks is what Sky has, 21
and maximum, sorry, 21,000, not 21,000, 2,100.
2,100.
And then max box is 4,250. Max reactors is not available. You just need one DR. Thruster adjustments, Outland's engines are 5 times. SBY are 11 and vanilla are 11.
Yeah.
All Outland's engines are 5 times multiplier. Max shield generators are 2 large or 16 small shield generators.
Alright.
And then that covers everything. A ship has to have an interior that's in the rules. They have to have a DR. We're not going to do an AI system yet, I think, just because we want to. Just because that'll come later. We need just basic ship stuff right now.
If we can, we could, but not forced.
And the DR system needs to be learned. People need to learn it and learn how to use it as a basic right before we add anything fancy like AI.
Pretty much.
So are we fine with that?
Currently, I think that's pretty set. I still would recommend that everyone has kind of like the AI system set in there, so then we can also try out formations and everything. But
We'll
also,
try that out at a later. I say we'll try that out at a later date.
yeah, but if that's not capable, then we can do this on like hand-to-hand, like man crew only.
We're doing man crew.
Yeah, man
I
crew
believe.
only is.
We're gonna do at max 4v4 at the minimum. Whoever shows up.
Yeah, so it's like 1v1 or 2v2.
1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4.
Yeah. If we can't, then we'll dumb it down to whatever even number, right?
And also, as another thing, we use one gyroscope. I'd say for this test, I'm gonna do what I'm familiar with. I'm doing an Outlands gyro. They are very powerful, and you can adjust them around to what you need very easily. The only issue is that they only have one connection point, but they are very tanky, and that's really
Do
all.
we have the Outlands antennas?
No,
Oh,
we
no.
do.
Okay.
We have beacons.
We have the naval props. You can use those. I do recommend people use a lot more of those as a decoration and also active antenna. But
I would recommend, as a real quick thing, I would recommend Sky for you to add the Outlands antenna to the mod pack. It is absolutely just
It is one of
insanely
the best
tanky.
things. It is one of the best.
I think it is the tankiest thing in the Outlands mod pack.
One other thing to mention, for the destroyer, we do need a death condition. Like,
Yes, death condition is
DR blowing up.
DR.
Yeah.
If there's no power for that, it's the
No
ship is
power,
weapon
the
strip,
ship is
mobility
gone.
killed. Yep, ship
or
ship
if,
is
let's
deleted.
say, like, say the ship is 200 blocks.
We can't just like count the blocks, which is exactly the reason why the DR
Good
is
point.
in there. The reason why, like I
We
said,
can count blocks.
Yeah, just copy it.
Just Control C. You Control C, it'll show you total PCU. Right below that is total blocks.
yeah, but don't forget, you're not counting blocks when we're filming, right?
We can't ship. You have a ship mod that's not in the fight. You just have them follow around. They'll confirm. Well, actually, when a ship is dead after the fight, you just Control C it. You can always go and hunt another ship. The fight is over when basically all ships. I mean, some ships will just look dead. You'll know it. You'll just know
When a
they
ship
are.
is not capable of movement and there's no bridge or CIC, it is dead.
How about we create some conditions? Then we can
Yes.
So
I do agree for that. Go to the random rule dump. We can just put it in there.
not yet.
We'll talk a little bit more. But
Not yet.
one thing to say,
We can schedule that for a later date.
so one thing,
For now though, we need to not death condition needs to go now. That way we can help build around that because that's what we're testing. We're testing destroyers, and as such, we need to create a death condition for the said destroyer.
so
Does that make sense?
death condition
Yes.
basic definition would be designated reactor destroyed or disabled, basically to the point it's like lower than 15%, then it's considered dead. That's when the self-destructive system comes in. Disabled condition can be weapon stripped, thruster stripped, gyro stripped, unable to move. So those would count as disabled or like no longer combat operational. How's that?
Alright, so death slash disabled. So disabled is
You can
so
still
death is DR explosion.
yeah.
That's death. Disabled. So disabled is it's thruster and weapon stripped, or has no power.
Actually, here's the thing. As long as it's enabled for maneuver or like normal operation, it should count as disabled.
It can't.
As long as it cannot fight anymore, it is disabled.
If it can't fight anymore, it's disabled.
Yeah.
If it cannot get
So,
into
as I
action,
said,
if it
it's
cannot defend itself, or
thruster.
have offense, then it is disabled.
So if it can't move like thruster, if it can't fire, if it can't shoot weapons, so both of those are not met. So at least weapons, so thrusters and weapons need to be disabled in order for the ship to be stripped and disabled.
Though I would
Then it
say
can't
we should
move.
have them both together, because
Both
if
of them are
just
together.
weapon,
That's
yes,
how
if a ship is just weapon stripped, then it can get out and retreat.
If the ship has no power, it's disabled. That's
Yes, that is the main death condition. If it don't
for
have
this
power,
test,
then it dead.
what I'm doing for this test, what I'm considering, everything is a death condition for this test. Whatever ship, if it doesn't have power, if it's thruster and weapon stripped, it's dead.
If it cannot fight anymore, then it is dead. That is the main condition, I would say.
Is that agreeable? That if it can't fight anymore, it's dead.
I'd say that's
And one AA gun isn't enough to count it as a weapon.
AA guns do not count as main weapons.
No, AA gun doesn't
But they do
count.
count as turret spots.
But AA gun doesn't count, but a main battery, so there's only mostly bad. So
Main battery does.
Yeah, so in
Yes.
short, lost of 35% of main batteries, or all main batteries can count as a death. Loss of more than 75% or above thrusters can count as a death. DR destroyed can be counted as death. DR disabled or lack of power can also count as a mobility kill. How about that?
Yes.
There we go. Loss of gyro.
Everything.
Gyro.
Loss of gyro is
yeah.
technically still alive. It can still
It is
move
a
around.
mobility kill, but it is not dead.
It's not a. It's still kind of not a mobility kill.
It is not a.
I've killed.
Yeah.
Wolf, I actually killed a ship in a training with no gyro.
Yes.
With fixed weapons, I killed it.
Damn. That is actually impressive. But
I got up to like 200
I would
meters right to the
suggest
bridge and just clicked.
I suggest a new category. We have mobility kill and weapon mobility stripped, weapon stripped, gyro stripped.
No,
Gyro strip doesn't really count. If anybody can
It
fly
just states enough condition.
one direction, but you can also collide as well. Don't forget that. But I think what we have here for destroyer, I think that works. I think it would work well.
Currently, the destroyer is fine.
Destroyer for this test, we have it set. Aragon, you okay with destroyer?
I think he might be dead.
That's okay. So I need.
That's okay. He's dead.
Yeah, no, that man is deader than a rock.
No, that's okay.
The rock wasn't even alive.
I think he went to bath or something. Which I also have to say I had to go to bath because I got something I need to do. We're doing the laundry today. So
Understandable.
I think this meeting, we can call it. I'll post the new destroyer guidelines for the event, and so I'll take care of that. I'll put in approving a ship, the guidelines for approving a ship as a ship mod, and then I'll put in the next agenda, which will be rebalancing.
Yeah, we
It would be rebalancing
is definitely
it's going to need to happen unless it's beautiful. Unless it's fine.
I currently suggest that well, we should possibly Friday, if you people are available, we test out the weapons from the Star Blazers pack.
Pretty much.
I would say, yeah, that might work. I think
Due to Scott,
Thursday.
you said
No,
that
wait, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yep.
Let me see here. I need one moment because I have. So, yep, I'm fine. Saturday and Sunday is unavailable for me.
All right, so Friday it is.
We can do Friday, yeah.
Yeah,
we'll just
Friday.
Set up, we'll just set up
Considering
a-
Sky, what you said about the UNCF weapons being overpowered
it's
and
more or less
Camillus being underpowered,
it's more or less UNCF had a better accuracy and firepower rate.
we can test this out via, say, having the weapon attempt to target a moving ship and see the damage done in, say, 10 or so seconds.
Pretty much. You can also test that on a normal hitting target, but we can figure that out on a later note. But
We can also do shield balancing as well on that same day.
Exactly. And
Agreed.
what would also happen is the matter of fact of all ship types, we would need to do a rebalance, kind of like resetting everything. So that would be also kind of like one of the concerns for a later note, since that we're currently just doing the destroyers. But that's a good start, as I would say.
Yes.
So
Once we start off destroyers, we can somewhat estimate how other ships should be. Like, we can downscale the destroyers and frigates, downscale that into
So
corvettes,
I've
upscale
got
cruisers.
to go real quick. So I think this meeting, call it adjourned.
yeah,
It
Yes,
is
I
6:04.
I'd
I
say
will post a summary.
I'd suggest you first post it in the rule dump channel.
Not just yet. I'll take care of everything.
I'll
After all, I am the
change
assistant.
the name of the thing.
After all, I am the assistant GM. Anyways,
Oh, man. Nice.
here
Congrats on your promotion.
I never was promoted. Sky doesn't know it yet. So I'm. So
You know, you should make him a role called slave.
I'm not doing that.
All right. So I'm gonna head out.
I'm making a roll called
It's
Sky
over.
Slave.
So great. Meetings done.
Meetings adjourned. I'll post the voice recording to our server. The shipbuilding server.
It's under audio log.
Yeah.
You just post there.
That's audio log on the later note. I'll
Yes.
let you guys know the rest of the stuff and all this stuff. So
all right, I'm gonna head out.
I do not believe I happen to have the shipbuilding server.
The shipbuilding? Which one?
We'll add to that later.
The UPC blueprint. I invited you and put you as a ship mod. You are not able to view any of the channels other than the ship mod channel.
Understandable.
Same thing with UPC. UPC has 2 of their ship mods in our server. They are only able to see the ship mod stuff and chat there.
So that's basically keeping things fair and simple. Now you have to write a record on this. I have to voice record on this.
I have a summary of just what we went over today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to head out. I'll take care of some stuff, and then I'll post everything.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I'm heading out. So meeting adjourned.
I'm also gonna be heading out.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
See you guys.
Wolf, I will be building in a bit. I'll start